it becomes doubly important at that point to maintain a constructive adversary climate in government. In other words, to maintain a climate that will allow the people to know what's going on. If you have a government that's dominated by one party, you have tranquility politically. But tranquility doesn't mean that the people are totally aware of what's going on in the government. It generally means just the opposite. It means that too many things are happening behind the scenes in closed decisions without the knowledge of the media or the people of the state. When you have an adversary political climate, even though it may slow to some extent the implementation of reforms and programs, it does assure that they receive the fullest debate and consideration. And it does assure that the poor parts of those programs will be open to the public scrutiny before they are enacted into law.
After what Texas state Republicans will surely call a very successful trip for their party, Vice President Spiro Agnew goes back to Washington for a round of talks tomorrow with the Israeli Foreign Minister, Abba Eban. This is Gene Thomas, Channel 8 News on the Move at Dallas Love Field.
And the report and have whatever questions I have answered before I make my comments and submit it to the City Council. I'm not obligated to take that report, have it handed to me, and immediately deliver it to the City Council.
What made Mr. Nall think that the report had gone to the telephone company?
I do not know. I don't know where that came about because Mr. Nall spent days and days working with the telephone company in getting his information together. I'm sure they discussed many, many items in the rate request. But where he got the idea that I or any of our people had sent a copy to the telephone company, I do not know, because that was news to me when I heard it.
What is the difference between the typical nursing home and the particular hospital that you're concerned with?
It's very little difference, only a hospital has a few more benefits than a nursing home. Usually a nursing home has a smaller staff, and they're completely, majority is a profit-making organization, where the stockholders, they get the complete benefit of the wage that's coming in. In a nursing home, we have poor salaries. The people there in the last few years, they was cutting salary. They have quite a few patients where they are understaffed because you can't get enough employees to be dedicated to this particular field as far as the pay is concerned. They have a 1 week paid holiday, matters how many years they've been there. And it has other also problems within the nursing home and hospital organization.
How about different centers to cope with, say, youth that are in trouble?
There's an extreme shortage of this type of facility. I don't know of any definite facility in Fort Worth. We do what we can with the hardcore narcotic addicts, as they're called. And it's a federal facility, as you know, and we take people, civil commitment cases from the federal courts. So this takes care of part of the problem. There's no place, actually, other than probably Peter Smith, where kids can be sent for treatment, and I mean intensive treatment. I think what we should do is set up clinics throughout the state of Texas and have satellite clinics where inpatient treatment and outpatient treatment can be obtained.
Well, I'll answer both of your questions. The report was not sent to the telephone company. That allegation was made, as I understand it, but it has not been sent to the telephone company. I checked that with all of my people to be sure that there had not been a report sent. I checked with Mr. Brunworth, the division manager of the telephone company, this morning after this report was out, and he verified that he did not have a report and had not read the report of Joe Nall. Now, under the present charter, the supervisor of public utilities comes under the supervision of the city manager, and it is my responsibility to submit reports to the city council with my comments on those reports.
Mr. Agnew is trying to force a polarization. He's camouflaging the real issues of inflation, the war, racism, poverty, the real elements of crime. He's attacking, trying to get people fearful and frustrated and to polarize them. I think this man is a great danger. I think, in fact, the man ought to be tried on the Brown decision from the Congress on crossing interstate lines to incite violence. I think that the man is just creating a paranoia in the country here unnecessarily. If he has to go gallivanting on raising money for the Republicans, he ought to be talking about the issues that are strangling this country here. If there was no radicals out there or anybody demonstrating, the air is still foul and the water is still bad, and the system is falling apart by itself. And Mr. Agnew ought to concentrate on those issues.